Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for episode 9 of The Undying Sky by us, Elsewhere and Beyond. We are playing Symbaroum by Free League Publishing, and today we are returning back to our story after the players have left quite a devastating scene, a burning town of Adalion along the Velamor River, and we are going to jump straight back into it. So without further ado, let's return to the action to Trig, Lysander and Rihanna. As a party then, and along with your new companion, this golden girl, you are heading off towards the west, along the river. Now, Lysander, you mentioned taking them away from the main road, so you'll be able to benefit from some of your bushcraft abilities to help everyone stay fed. But there will be some element of downtime as you guys are traveling for the next couple of days. So going through the list here then, I'm going to ask you guys what you think your characters might be getting up to along the way. Lysander, what about you? Are you going to train anything? Are you going to do perhaps any alchemy?
If it's such a long time, can I aim for 2 things I want to make?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
So the first one is I'm going to roll for some wild chew.
Okay, yeah. Picking up herbs along the way, you can roll for some wild chew. Go ahead and make me... That's quite a common thing, so you could have a +1 to that roll.
Oh, wow. Wow.
17. It's not enough. I'm afraid you failed that first one.
All right. And then I wanted to actually make some truth serum.
Okay, that's an adept, isn't it?
That's an adept, so I can only make 1 dose.
Okay, just roll a normal check for me on that one.
Ooh.
That is a success. You make 1 dose of truth serum.
Very cool.
And you carefully stow that in your pocket.
Yes.
What about you, Trig?
In terms of stuff that has mechanical benefit, I don't know if there's much he would do, but I think he would possibly just be sort of whittling, like he's sort of making little crafts, little like scrimshaw kind of like idols.
Rihanna oftentimes finds herself just studying, like going through her journal, her notes, and also making notes about the girl, probably. And about like her strange markings, or maybe trying to talk to her a little bit, or trying to...
So could we say you might be trying to also teach her language?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Can you go ahead and make a cunning test for me? And we're going to start with a -3 because,
Oh, oops,
you know...
I didn't put the -3.
No, that's okay.
But that's
You rolled a
enough
natural
20 anyway.
Jesus Christ, Kimberley. I actually don't know what's going on with you.
This is not the game for me. You know, I'm a high roller. I'm always a high roller.
It's a hard job. It's a hard job talking to her. It's difficult to get through. It's not that she breaks concentration or she loses her sense of focus. It's more that it's guttural sounds at first. And you've been able to acknowledge almost a yes and no. Sometimes she goes to speak with the little confidence she has. And you, me.
Yes. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
It's progress.
Yeah, it's something.
Sorry, this girl, is she aggressive or what's...
She's very dreamy in her own world, looking around. She's quite gentle. I wouldn't say to the level where she's singing to the wildlife, but she's very gentle. She doesn't, interesting to say this actually, she doesn't go out of her way to make a place in the world. But most of all, the thing that should shock you the most is she doesn't know when to eat or drink. Oh. And sometimes you can see her clutching her stomach and looking around, and it is just confusion in her eyes. And you know it's been 8 hours at that point, or 6 hours before she's eaten something properly.
I mean, I assume we help her food when
I mean, it's not like you have to feed her. Like if you give her berries and stuff, she'll take it and eat it, thankfully. But she doesn't know how to, at the moment,
register that feeling. Yeah.
What I was thinking was that if Lysander realizes that she's quite calm and gentle, he would probably like let her help out with Meliora a bit, the little chick, which is very quickly growing actually into a slightly larger bird. Just letting her feed it and hold it.
She offers little grubs when she needs to. And then when the grubs don't work after a few days, you come back with bits of mice and stuff, and the bird's much happier to have mice than grubs.
It'll very quickly, probably by the end of the journey, it'll be like the size of a raven, like blood red
Yeah.
wings.
And she seems very, very happy with it. And she sometimes vocalizes some of the sounds back that it makes.
No. She's gonna learn to speak bird.
Yeah.
Well, I will put it out there, like, so that she's currently looking at like beast lore and potentially that skill you have as two of the things she might pick up. You notice she's very much like a sponge.
Well, Trig is gonna train her with the hammer.
Trig's gonna train her with that.
It's just like okay, so this is how you do it. This is how you hold it, and like handing her the hammer, and it's just like dunk.
No, not like that.
Oh, you have to lift it, girl.
And that's a point. What do you call her?
Girl.
Brig just calls her girl.
Girl. Okay.
I think
The girl.
what her name used to be.
It used to be Aloha.
That's probably a bad idea, though.
Is it? She was just an in girl. Like, she wasn't.
In girl.
No, but it's true, though.
I think Lysander's gonna find another name to use for now as well.
Well, for now she's girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until something comes up. And she doesn't seem taken back by being called girl. She starts to register something belonging to her. But the next week or so of travel goes by fairly uneventfully. You guys take shelter when you need to from the weather, you march when you, or should we say stride when you have to, and you eat fairly well, all thanks to Lysander, who is an excellent guide keeping you off the roads.
Nice.
I think you're gonna see like Lysander was extremely stressed out when they were leaving Ordalion. I think as like he's what's familiar to him is walking around the wilds and like getting by on the land. So I think you're gonna see him like relaxing a lot more and just being more himself as the days pass.
You arrive on a hill overlooking a small valley. At the bottom, a hamlet where rushing waters come by to create rapids around it and little bridges that lead into its centre. Further up, you see a church on a hill, and beyond that, the faint outline of what appears to be a mine entrance and a waft of smoke coming off of chimneys. You have arrived in the mining settlement of Symbaroum, a quiet little affair, and nothing out of the ordinary at all.
What kind of money did we get from Selena?
You got 20 thaler. So would you have split your thaler amongst each other?
Yeah, I imagine so.
I hate that we have a graveyard, but now, by the way, and my character's in it.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is true. She's there. Just you never know. I never knew if you wanted to. No one actually went back and looted her, by the way, but that's fine.
Which is a shame, because she was loaded as well.
She had a lot of money on her. Yeah, but look, these things happen. Maybe that helped the town rebuild. And they'll name the new place Astrid. Or Asteroid.
Asteroid? Yeah.
Before going any closer, Lysander's just going to stop the group. So before we go into town, we need to talk about names.
Names?
Names. Now, girl probably needs a name. And I need something.
A girl has no name.
I need another name for a while at least, given what happened back in Ordalion, and maybe the same with Watcher.
Ah, right, Watcher.
It's a bit of a stretch to think that the name is what's going to give me away. Of all the things about me, the name is not the most important.
I think so, too, actually.
Watcher shall be fine.
Don't worry about the church coming along. I mean, they're going to be looking for us.
They're going to be looking for me regardless.
And they're going to be looking for a changeling together with someone like him. So honestly, I don't think your name will matter much.
But what about girl?
The girl needs a name.
Girl, she says. Just, that's it.
Girl.
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 Lysander's going to point to himself and say, Lysander.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, what name would you like, girl?
Don't think she understands.
She looks stressed, and she just takes a few steps away from you, Rihanna.
Oh.
and just sits on a rock to try and contemplate it, as if she's just getting a headache about it.
Sort of raven form Meliora will like fly down and sit in the girl's lap.
How about... Isn't Melina like a character from Elden Ring or something?
Absolutely maidenless behavior.
Yeah.
They're all just standing around, like tapping their chins, looking up into the air, trying to find a name for this girl. Does anyone know any fancy star names?
Oh, God. That's pretty intense.
That's pretty smart, yeah. What's a good star name?
Cassiopeia.
Oh, yeah. Cassio.
Cassiopeia.
Cassie.
Cassie? Is it Cassie?
Yeah. I like Cassie.
I mean, is it in this world?
No, but it is now.
Well, okay, so Lysander just points to himself again and says, Lysander, and then he points at the girl and says, Cassie.
Cassie.
I like it.
Cassie. And she nods.
And little Meliora, and he goes and pats the girl, the bird's head.
She tries to say Meliora, but it's a mess. Instead, she just picks the bird up and puts it on her shoulder and pulls her hood up.
Trig nods at the suggestion. He's like, it has an S in it. Good, as if for a cat. Before they get too close, he's just going to make sure that his illusion is up to snuff.
Oh, God.
Just double check that his tail is tucked into his pants and his horn stubs are they've grown back completely now?
Yeah, they're pretty much fully grown after a week on the road. Ripping them off.
Yeah, at this point it's just
Did you
like
stop doing that in front of us.
massive horns on his head that are like you guys haven't seen him like that so much, but now he's traveling on the road. They've come back. It's quite imposing and very obvious. So as they're about to sort of get a bit close to town, he's like, ugh, again.
It just rips them.
I can keep it for some protective oil.
Good idea. And he says as he grabs the base of one of his horns, and there's that like struggle again.
For a crack and a wet crack. And you find that, Trig, you've got quite a habit. You've found quite a good knack now for getting your hair and then covering the stumps with the hair you have. Because you've got this beautiful big mane of like Viking hair as well. You can kind of cover it up and it's good.
He hands both of the horns to Lysander.
Lysander just kind of takes them, just kind of nods. A little bit awkward, but he puts them away.
I think we also ought to keep Cassie out of sight as much as we can. Rihanna says as she sort of like moves over to adjust Cassie's like hood and her hair a little bit to make it frame her face a bit or like fall into her face a bit more.
Lysander's gonna look between the two and like, she's your weird little sister.
All right, that could work.
As you approach the small mining town of Symbaroum, you first appear over a rise on top of a cliff looking down on this little settlement. But you also come upon a little camp, a solitary and efficient little thing, warming and welcoming, but basic and practical. There's a single tent, a simple fire, and what looks to be whittling tools and maintenance and things needed to look after one's weapons. You can even see a pair of boots warming next to the fire, but there is no one to be seen.
Hello.
As you call out hello, further to the north, maybe more to the northeast, there is the shattering of glass. You hear the tumbling of wood and a man crying out in pain.
I mean, what is in that direction?
Yes, you can see it from here. That appears to be stackings of timber, lots of hewn down trees, a hut with piles behind it of logs, a lumber mill.
I mean, I guess we'll hurry over there to check out what the screaming's all about.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's an empty and abandoned little old place. You can see that broken glass. Trig, something that comes to your mind straight away is a smell of rot mixed in with the pine. Something about this place is ominous and eerie at best.
He's not in any hurry to follow the sound anyway. He's just like, people hurt themselves all the time. They're idiots.
Suddenly, a man's body hurtles through the wall of the side of the lumber mill. Sprawling through the air, you see this muscular and robust barbarian man torsel through the air. His body comes to a rolling stop not far from where you're all standing. 2 axes flung from side to side from each hand. He starts to claw his way back up onto his feet. Take cover, he growls in your direction, seeing you all. And there's this large piece of wood that comes flying through the air from out of this broken lumber mill. I need all of you to make a quick test.
Uh-oh.
Can Lysander dive to get Cassie down?
Yeah, definitely. But then you make yours with a -2.
Oh, well, I failed. No, yeah, I failed.
Actually, can I use my reaction mind throw for this? Is that
Yes, you may
possible?
definitely do that. If this succeeds, no one else will need to defend themselves. You succeed. Go ahead, please, and give yourself 1 point of temporary corruption.
Yes.
And as what appears to be a piece of timber, a large piece of timber, not as big as Trigg's hammer, but comparably still as dangerous, comes torsling out of the building. How would you deal with it before it reaches all of you?
I guess just like gasp and then immediately make like a motion with her hands and kind of just like do like a throwing motion to the side to make sure that it lands like beside them or elsewhere at least. It's kind of like a force. It's just a
It's
gust
just
of
as a
wind
reactive,
almost.
a reactive push, a wind without like a blowing. It's like an imaginary telekinetic force. You see this huge piece of lit timber just spin and cartwheel to the side before thunking down beside some of the trees not far from the lumber mill, and it goes a good half foot into the earth, better than inside one of you. You see the barbarian man crawling forward, grabbing both of his axes as he looks up at you, Rihanna. Not bad.
Oh,
How hurt is this barbarian?
He's getting back up on his feet again.
Okay.
It seems like it's another day in the business. He wipes some snot and blood from his nose across the back of his palm, and he starts to run back into, turning into a full lumbering sprint back into the lumber mill.
I hope he doesn't expect me to do that again.
At this moment, bursting out of the mill as he's running towards it, a huge troll. Not the sort that's with you. One famished and raging. One wild. One that you have all been warned about. These rage trolls are more like minotaurs. Robust, roping muscles, huge chests, claws as long as knives.
Watcher!
Trig immediately goes for the hammer. It is ready. It is brandished.
I think this is one of your more unfriendly kin.
He looks at his cousin with mostly pity.
Before we go into combat, Lysander's just gonna go over to... He has a dagger that he never uses. He's gonna go over to Cassie and kind of put it in her hand and close her hand around it and just kind of do a stabbing motion to show her like how she would stab.
Brilliant. Teaching so much.
Yes.
I think it's better if she hides.
Well, if we all die and it goes for her, it's better she has a little chance.
That's true.
So
Cassie,
stab, and he kind of shows the movement.
That is amazing. Okay. Does anyone want to play with Bardoon?
Bardoon, hell yeah.
You don't know his name yet. Be aware of that. But we're going with the flow here. All right.
Meliora just kind of flies off. She's not a combat pet at the moment, so...
At the top of the initiative, as you see this troll lurching out of the mill to meet this barbarian in battle, Lysander, you are the quickest of everybody here. If there was something you could do, what would you do?
I think delaying the turn is a good idea for now. I think this is not an enemy. Lysander would just face tank.
Of course. Okay.
So yeah, I'll delay my turn. I just have to use it before the round is over, right?
You just have to use it before the round is over. Rihanna
keeps a somewhat safe distance away, like at least where they are stood from outside the lumber mill, you know? and actually takes a few steps back as she takes in the sheer size of this raging troll. I mean, you've met a troll before, but it's definitely different to a friendly troll.
You can hear Lysander in the background like, blow it up!
And that she does, so I'm gonna do a little resolute roll.
Is this against his quick, by the way?
Yes.
Then you get a +3 to this.
Ooh.
That's
Oh, boy.
fantastic. Oh my gosh, really? 19.
Rolled a 19. Should we just say this? You're beginning to form the heat or the power in your hands?
Yeah.
You just lose it.
Yeah, it's a little bit intense right now. You know, we've been in the road.
It probably came from hesitating because what if you hit him instead of the troll and then you can't.
Yeah, so there's just like some sparks from her fingers, but then she takes actually another step back on the field.
I don't want to bring a meteor down on the place.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give yourself 1 point of corruption. And do you do any movement? Do you engage?
No.
Okay. Next up then
Bardoon.
is Bardoon. What would Bardoon do? What do you think he'd
Bardoon
do?
is right up in his face, right? He's gonna engage with the troll.
So he gets to make 2 attacks on his turn. I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you, please, to get a +3 to these checks. 2! That is a success.
And
And he rolls an 8 on a D8.
Ooh.
My goodness.
And then he
Okay.
does it again.
13 is another success. The first strike, he spins around and he cuts deep into the side of the troll with his axe. It's like, have you ever seen mining picks going into a sheer face of ice? It's just like that with the axe. And then he pulls it forward, causing the troll to come more towards him before he cuts upwards with his second axe, doing less damage, but making sure that the troll is engaged with him. With his turn out of the way, because there's not much to do for him. Trig, it comes to you next.
Trig is joining the fray. He's rushing just behind Bardoon here to engage with the troll.
Oh, right. Okay.
And he's going to sort of try to flank it a little bit. Since Bardoon it's got its attention, he's going to sort of try to get behind it a little.
This troll is a little bigger than you are, by the way, Trig.
But again, I can't hit it this turn. So what I am going to do is cast Bloodbrier's Binding. And as he sort of positions himself, you see that same sort of red shimmering enveloping his weapon and his eyes as he summons this primal magic. And the hammer looks somehow even more vicious than it did before.
There's little bloody barbs and thorns appearing all over it. Very good. That's all of you. The Rage Troll.
I'm gonna hop in here.
Oh, brilliant. So, what would you like to do, Lysander?
With the Barbarian hacking at it and Trick getting into position, Lysander feels like it's his time to move in. And he's just gonna do like a fierce upward swing between his legs.
Okay, so you dash on in and you make your attack. Now, by the way, it's a free attack when you get into range, right? Of a target? Or is it when a
I
target
think
gets
it's
into
when
range
they
of
come
you?
into my range, I think. First contact with one enemy that is not a...
The weapon is allowed to make a free attack at first contact with one enemy that's... No, you get a free attack and you get...
Wait, they don't even have genitals, do they?
They don't. No, they are grown out of the ground. But you're not thinking straight right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's fine. Okay,
It's
so
still
you
a
get
part
some,
of its body.
I'll
Yeah.
do 2 attacks then.
You, however, do get a +3 to this check.
+3.
Yeah, they don't have very good armor. 8. I believe that is a success. And you do 7 points of damage.
Nope, that's a
And
fail.
this, so go on, explain to me what's happening whilst I change some numbers here then.
So Lysander goes in and he's like comes in with his staff, like really heroically, feels really good about it, swings it up between the troll's leg, expecting it to like really hurt and go down, but seeing that the troll isn't really that affected, he kind of scours back a little and doesn't really get to do the other attack.
Finally, the Rage Troll can act, and I want to show you guys why they're called Rage Trolls. It howls, smashing its chest with its balled-up fists, and it lets out a mighty roar, and you can see the veins popping in its neck. It is now berserking, and I'm going to quickly remind myself what that means. As a free action, the character may enter into a murderous frenzy to solely focus on hurting the enemy. dealing 1d6 extra damage when fighting in melee. The downside of the frenzy is that the character cannot defend itself properly.
But it's very dangerous.
It turns to you, Trig, and it is going to try and just take one of its giant clawed hands and rake it down you with an attack. It is going to attack you. It has a 13 in accuracy. That is a -3 to your defense check.
Good luck.
I'm gonna need it.
That's exactly what you needed. How do you defend yourself?
Wow.
As the troll turns around, he's prepared for it.
I'm smarter.
I have brain still.
Trig is ready for his cousin's attack. He just brings the haft of his hammer up into its chin, just to distract it just enough that its attack completely just flounders to the side.
And it misses you. It just flails. At the top of the initiative, Rihanna.
I'm gonna try again.
Yay! Go ahead and make me a resolute test.
Resolute
Now, I
test.
believe it's against quick, right? So,
Yeah, +3 you said, right?
well, this rage troll is berserking, so you get a +5 to this attack. In fact, all of you do if you're attacking quick. Hey! Success!
Nice.
Success! Woo! I'm gonna roll my d12 for damage.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite good.
6 is pretty good.
What Rihanna does is that she actually focuses on that tree, that lumber
All right,
of
okay.
before, and she pulls and splinters off pieces of wood that she then just slams towards the troll.
So there's like missiles of fire coming away from the log that you sent barreling away.
Yeah.
And she's just controlling them, and they'll just pelt and sunder the creature. That is a lot of damage. Oh, you're going to hate this. So when it berserked, its armor went from 4 to 6. So that was...
Oh, that's nothing.
It kind of splinters and burns, but you do kind of get its attention. That's one thing, right? It starts to look at you.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
You could always go and run behind Cassie.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely take some extra steps back and maybe towards the line of wood of the line of the forest. Yeah.
Next up is you again on Bardoon. Bardoon looks around and he sees that his quarry is choosing a new target.
He don't like that. Yeah.
We don't like that.
He takes that personally. He's like, "What? I'm not scary enough."
Yeah. I think it's just twin attack, right? He's gonna twin
So
attack.
2 more
yeah.
attacks? Okay. He's
Yeah,
actually got
absolutely.
advantage this time on both of them because Trig's moved in.
Nice.
Oh my goodness. So the first one is
Goodness
10
gracious.
points of damage, but that's 6 armor, so it's 4 damage goes through. And the second attack, and I'll just describe them together, is another success.
Oh my goodness.
Same amount of damage.
It's on 1 health point.
Oh my god.
It's on 1 health point, as both, again, just these very tactfully minded axe strikes make a series of cuts into the creature. He moves around the troll in such a way as to slice the back of the leg. He ducks under a flailing claw, cuts into the arm, dancing about the troll like a skilled expert. Trig, come on, man, he's on 1 toughness.
If I
What's
can't do
it
this,
gonna be?
I'm gonna just quit the game if I can't do this. Come on, let's give it all we got with a strike.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
You just dealt 16, 17, 18 points of damage. That is the highest I have ever seen someone roll damage.
I mean, just the
Team Rocket. You know, when that happens, it's like the ding.
with the vicious assault from Bardoon here, Trig sees his opportunity, and as Bardoon slices across the troll's lower back and pushes it towards Trig, he reacts instinctively. He grabs his cousin by his horns and just rams his head into his face, and there's just this concussive just crack
Skull split.
as the skull splits.
The creature doesn't die for a few seconds. It falls back. all of its sensors are reversed. It's scratching towards a tree, and then it kind of falls on its knees and starts to scratch at its face. It screams in agony, gets back up onto its legs, wobbly, as it starts to charge at Trig, and then just falls face flat onto the earth and slides a foot forward to your feet, dead.
Nice.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Trig is like rubbing his head.
The barbarian gets up, rubbing the back of his neck as he sheaths his axes into his belt.
Go to Cinderbar, they said. Bardoon, it's just a rage troll.
Hello, Bardoon. I'm Lysander.
Lysander.
This is Watcher
Rihanna.
and the little one's Cassie.
Cassie, Rihanna, Lysander. You all drink?
Does he specifically exclude Watcher from what he just said?
Well, he's stood right next to you, so he looks back and he looks to you, Watcher.
You drink. I know you drink. Come, find my fire.
And the barbarian leads you off towards his camp.
I was roasting Jakar. You like Jakar?
Jakar?
A little gamey.
Before Trig follows, can he just kneel down by the troll and just, he's going to, again, just snap off just the tips of his horns.
Is that the new thing you do now? You take an appendage from your fallen enemy?
No, the decapping of another troll's horns has some symbolic value.
I like that. Absolutely.
I've never actually seen a troll like that before. I mean, well, yeah.
Wow. Now you've seen one, haven't you?
Well, you're supposed to stay out of their way, really.
Well, not if you're a slayer. I'm of the Red Claws.
He watches, waiting to see if you would congratulate him on this great piece of knowledge that he's finally shared with you.
No. Red Claws, monster slayers,
Oh,
hired killers.
Who hired you for that?
One of the locals down there in Cinderbar came forward, offered a good price. Said a monster was hiding in their lumber mill. Sounded like a job for me.
this is what you do then? Kill trolls and the like?
Amongst other things, yeah. Considering all kinds of queer things are happening in that town, I took the easy job.
Trig is looking at Bardoon and he's like a little apprehensive. And he hasn't put away his hammer yet.
Are there many more of you? Oh, there's just one of me. But Red Claws? Yeah, they're everywhere.
He seems a bit taken aback, but part of him figured maybe someone seasoned at fighting trolls would see through his disguise.
I bet you were surprised to see that I didn't go for you, but I see a good troll. Had a few friends in my life, them good trolls. Perhaps I'm what you call an exception. Be warned though, other Red Claws, they'll be taking your horns and selling them for a good price. Where are those horns of yours?
He kind of,
He looks to Lysander.
I don't know.
Rihanna makes a disgusted face.
An alchemist.
The big old barbarian begins to laugh, chuckling away as he realizes that you're selling parts of the troll you travel with, no less.
Clever. Yeah. Now what brings you lot to Cinderbar?
We're just traveling through back to the Ordo Magica.
Ordo Magica. Yeah, you seem the sort. Not you, though. Or you. Her, though. Weird one. What's wrong with her face? What's wrong with the world?
He says as he interrupts himself from questioning Cassie any further.
Stars are falling out the sky. Give me the trolls and the lumber mills, I say. My axes will be my magic.
And his laughter begins to, soar. You get the feeling that Bardoon is very tickled by his own humour.
I mean, they're your own sort of magic, I suppose. Seeing what you did with them, that was very impressive, sir.
The big barbarian slaps his knee and puts his mug down, standing up. He takes a few strides to go and look over this overlook, this cliff, onto the little mining hamlet down below.
Better swing by soon and get some reward. Yeah, I'm happy to throw you lot some coins. If they all have the money to pay, that is.
Yeah, you were saying about them.
Weird and strange doesn't sum it up. Gangs of people walking around the town, and the locals don't recognize them. Pretend to like them, pretend to engage with them.
Oh?
I don't know Cinderbar that well. Don't seem right. Don't seem natural.
Like they've taken over the town.
You could say that, yeah.
This sounds like someone else's problem.
You always think it sounds like someone else's problem, Lysander.
A little bit your problem. That river down there, that's too wide to cross. And going around this canyon here, you'll be at it for days. You're off to Agrella then, aren't you?
We are.
I think you need to get through town. Besides, I'm not just Bardoon the brave, Bardoon the strong. I'm Bardoon the honest. And you deserve some honest pay there for the troll. So if you go and pick it up, I'll also make it worth your trouble, and let's say we split it halfway.
All of that? Why would you just not go and claim the payment yourself?
Fine. The inn is where my ex-wife lives. And I don't want to stay there, considering she's also the one that gave me the bloody job.
Of all the reasons not to go, that one is perhaps the most understandable.
Everyone's just nodding their heads like understanding.
Yeah, okay.
You should have led with that.
I won't go into many more details, but if you go and pick up the payment, I'd be mighty appreciative.
Did she take half your axes?
I used to have a much bigger axe than this.
I used to have 4.
Oh, you're good sort. I haven't laughed like this in years. I had a friend once, like you actually, and he points at Lysander.
But my wife took her.
Yeah, he's funny. He's got it.
Lysander, like doing an impression with like a rough voice. Your wife took her. Like a little bit of that changelingness comes through, and he manages to do quite a good impression of the guy.
I like you lot. Perhaps one day we'll all be working for the Red Claws. Or maybe not you. And he gestures to Trig.
He's so put off now by meeting in this short amount of time, meeting people that just immediately see through him.
Yeah, very true. Very true.